Hey, welcome everyone in this new video tutorial about Diablo-like dungeon generator. In this video we are not in the usual map we are on. We are on my project, my personal project, and we are going to develop a bit of level design. So we are first going to get comfortable by creating a new level called level design, let's say. And we are going to double click that, we're going to save, and we're going to drag and drop the usual stuff like directional lights. In this project I have a BP light scenario which brings everything at once, so I'm just going to drag and drop that like this. So we want that map. We want that map to be the map where we are going to design the tiles we are building. But first we want to get back to another map where we are actually going to see our generator in play. We are going to keep that map, so we are just going to drag and drop our in system our level generator like that. We're going to move that in the middle of the map and we're going to hit play. And in this map I don't have any game mode, so I need to specify what game mode I want. I want that game mode, hitting play. So I'm spawning in this dungeon, and the first thing I want to do is just add a blocking volume, which is going to block my mouse, because right now, as you can see, if I try to shoot, my arrow is supposed to shoot towards my cursor, but as you can see, it's not. That's because the ground is not blocking my mouse clicks, so the game doesn't know I'm trying to shot in that direction. So I'm going to add a blocking volume, which actually only blocks. This is only going to block the visibility and the camera. I'm going to move that at 0 at -500, and I'm going to make that real big like that. And I think it should be working now. Yep, it's working. So I have my dungeon, and I cannot see from afar. So I can zoom in. I have a function which zooms in. I'm going to make it so it zooms out real big when I press it instead. So if I'm opening up my character blueprint, I think I may have something related to zoom. So this is not about the zoom. So this should be about the zoom. So I'm just going to say that when I wheel up, I'm going to increase the arm length by 10,000. And when I wheel down, I decrease it by, I'm just going to use the same nodes. So like that. Okay, so it's not going further than a particular distance. So it's throwing errors at us, and it's about the level generator, I believe. Oh no, it's not even about the generator, so we do not care about that. So I think the arm length is clamped to that number, so I want that to be, I don't want that to be clamped like that. I want to hit play, and it's still clamped. Why is it still clamped? Because I'm setting that in another place like that. I want to hit compile. I want to close everything, want to hit play, And yep, I can see my generator now. And I'm just going to make that a bit better. I'm just going to make that move by 500, like that. It's a bit better. So we have our generator. I think the first thing I want to do is make sure my tiles doesn't look like pure blockouts. So where is the bug? It's bugging when it's trying to choose my class. So we do not care about that. Where does it say it bugged? Get item. Can we just get rid of that error? Yep, we can. I'm just going to grab that. It says, is that empty? Is that not empty? If it's not empty, I'm just going to create my stuff. Okay. Strange, actually. So I'm just going to let it be for now. Okay, it's just saying I do not have a player start. So I'm just going to add a player start. I'm dumb. And the player start is going to be in the middle of the map. And we are not going to have any more errors like that. Okay, so I want the tiles not to be such blockouts. So what do I want to do? I want to open up our BP tile. And right now you can see we directly have. So I initially planned on building our tiles using a plugin called prefab tool, but it's actually something you need to pay for, and I think I should be I think I'm going to show you a free workaround, something that, so we're going to talk about our tile framework in there. How are we going to build our tiles? And initially I was planning on building our tiles on the prefab tool, but since you have to pay for it, I think I'm going to show you a free workaround for the tile framework. And it's a workaround using blueprints, and it's not going to be real good, real efficient. And I think I'm going to just show you quickly how you can create tiles using Unreal 4 built-in tools, and then we're going to move on to the next video where we are going to build our tiles using prefab tool. So we want to make sure our tiles doesn't look like pure blockouts. So we need to create something that looks like a generic tile. So I have a bunch of things. I have a bunch of stuff in my art folder, environment, polygon dungeon. So that's something I bought on the marketplace. I have meshes, I have floors, and I actually have a bunch of tiles in there, and I'm going to use a simple one for now. We do not care. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to move that at 0, 0, 0. So one thing I noticed about the Diablo 3 level design is that I think they are using bigger tiles than we do. So I think I'm going to increase the size of the tiles generated by our generator in order to better simulate what Diablo looks like. So I'm not sure about the size of this. So if I'm taking one of our tiles as an example, if I'm getting a background tile, for instance, I'm moving that at 0, 0. So I think I wasn't really far away from the proper size, if I'm not mistaken. So if I'm grabbing these tiles, so we need a few more, and I actually want our tiles to be bigger. So I'm going to add, let's say, 2 more rows like that. And I'm not sure how much is this, but we'll see. We do not need to be sure for now. So I think that's square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have 7 tiles like that. So I think I want our tiles to be that big. So this is going to be our floor. How are we going to do that for now? For now, we just want to make sure our tiles doesn't look like blockouts. We are not going to iterate. We're not going to build. We are not level designing for now. So our framework is not really efficient, but it's going to be really modular because we are going to replace the generic stuff used by each of our tiles. So we want to grab that, we want to hit Ctrl S, we want to Ctrl G that. This is going to group them. And what do we want to do? We want to find walls now. So we're going to grab the walls. We're going to get the walls folder. And what do I want to get? I want to get that, let's say. And I'm going to add walls all around the tiles. And I actually want the walls to be, so it appears that it tries to add the walls like this, and it might get, so it will actually overlap with the other tile. We'll see how it goes. So for now we're just going to duplicate them like that, and we are actually going to group that, and we want another one of them and another one. And another one like that. So this might be our tile basically, except we need fences for lower walls. So we are actually going to grab our fences. Do we get some? Do we have some? I'm sure we do have fences. I'm just not sure where they are. Okay, so they're there. It's there. I don't care. For now, we're just going to grab that. So it's about that. We're going to make them invisible and them as well. We're going to grab the tile and put that aside. And I actually want a bit more light. So I'm just going to grab a light like this, but not two. That's perfect. I want to grab that and put that in there. All right, perfect. And then I want to do that. And I'm just creating the base layout we're going to use for our tiles. We want to duplicate all of the railing we just created. Like that. We want to save. And this is going to be our base tile. Maybe we do want to add columns. pilers. So I'm just going to randomly grab a piler, and I'm going to make that a little bigger just so we can properly relate to the pillars, not like this. All right. So I basically just recreated our tile, but how can we actually, now how can we build all of our tiles like this? Well, we are actually going to replace the floor and we are going to add. Okay, so I know how we are going to do that. But first, we need to create some folders in there. So this is a system folder, which there is our blocking volume, background tile. We're actually just going to destroy our background tile. The level generator is going in our system folder, the light scenario as well, the directional light as well, not the group actor, the player start as well. Now we need a new folder, which is going to be LD, level design, where we are going to put everything we created. And we're going to make everything we created visible. And then what are we going to do? We are actually going to create some subfolders for the floor. So we want the floor. I actually want that to be in there. Then I want so where is our northern? So I think the X is the north, if I'm not mistaken. So this is going to be our northern wall. So we are actually going to create folders for each of our direction. And wall, this is going to be end wall locked, end wall open. And we are actually, can we copy paste that? No, okay, we can't. We're just going to create a bunch of folders like that, and we need to copy paste that. It's going to be south wall locked. This is going to be east wall locked. This is going to be west wall locked. And then we want the wall open for the south, the east, and the west. Like that. And then we also have another folder which we do not care about. So this is the northern wall. So we don't want the floor to be open. This is the western wall closed. West wall locked, like that. This is going to be the eastern wall locked, like that. This is the northern wall locked. And we actually have southern walls in there, and we should not have them. We're going to delete them. And this one as well, because we have the railings. So we're going to group that, and we're going to group that as well. This created two actors, which this one is the eastern wall locked, and the other one is the southern wall locked, like that. And then we have them, we need to duplicate them for the open version of them. So we are actually going to, what are we going to do? So the railing it needs to be southern wall locked, we said. Yep, like this. And the pillars, they are going to be in another folder, miscellaneous, like that. And then we want to duplicate that grouped actor. And we want to move that in our northern wall open. Same for, and we are going to hide the northern wall locked. Then we're going to do the same for the eastern wall locked. I mean the western wall locked. We're going to duplicate that. And we're going to move that in our western wall open. We're going to close everything by holding left shift. And we're going to hide the western wall which is locked. And if I remember correctly, we need to do the entrance in there, but I'm just going to make sure. So if we open up our generic tile folder, and I want the northeast tile, so I actually made a mistake, I believe. Oh no, it's just not being updated in there. It's only being updated. So this tile is previously we had a system that were displaying at runtime during in the editor the direction of our tiles, and it's not the case anymore, and I'm a bit sad about it. But if I'm not mistaken, we should be opening stuff in there, and they are all going to look the same. Okay, and it's kind of silly. But maybe I can make it so it's being updated. So I'm opening up our BP tile folder. And maybe I can just generate the connectors during construction script. If I'm going there, it's going to have a huge compile time. I'm going to save before I compile in case it crashes. I'm going to hit compile. So maybe we'll get the chance to see our tiles being updated during editor time. And previously it was the case, so I do not see why it should not work. Maybe we are getting... So I'm going to close that, close that, close that, close that. And I'm going to move our... Yep, it's being updated. So I prefer that. So northeast corridor, so we need to open up, and I want a northwest as well to relate. Okay, so perfect. And I also want a southeast. Okay, perfect. So I need to open up my stuff in there, and then I need to open up my stuff in there. So this is our north wall open. I'm going to ungroup them, Shift G, and I'm going to delete these two walls. Then I'm going to do the same for that. I'm going to delete this Shift G and deleting the walls. This, and in there I want to hide the locked wall for the south and for the east as well. I want to group that. And it actually created group actors, so I want to move that in the correct location. So this is our northern wall open, and this is our western wall open. So it doesn't want me to drag that here just because it's already in there. So if I'm moving that to system, then I'm moving that to locked. I mean, not to locked, but in western wall open, it's working. Okay, perfect. So what do I want to do there? I want to duplicate that. I want to move that in there. This is going to be our open connector to the south. Like that. And I want to duplicate that once more to make that our eastern connector. You can arbitrarily choose where the connections are made just by moving that. I mean, you could choose that all of your connections are not there, but in the other location by moving that and this like that. Maybe you'll have to switch to also switch the other directions. I'm not sure. So these are going to be our connectors for. We're going to close everything and move these actors to their correct location. If I'm not mistaken, this is going to be our southern wall open. So I'm not sure. Okay. Southern wall open. And these are going to be our southern wall, eastern wall open. All right, we're getting there. So that's a bit long, I must admit. So where is this? Okay, I forgot to hide it. So if I'm deleting all of these tiles, then I'm showing our floor and everything else. All right, that's great. So we're just going to duplicate that. We're going to how can I do that? Select immediate children, and I want to alt drag all of them. All right, I'm going to do that twice. I'm going to show my to look at my hierarchy. So they are all in the same folder, but for now I don't care. I don't care for now. That's quite that's a bit. We do not care for now. So what is this? This is our connector, northern connector. So we're going to make that a blueprint. So in our Diablo dungeon generator, we're going to create a new folder called child actors. We're going to, and we are going to go there, grab the northern connector, and call that, and go to blueprint, convert selected components to blueprints, Diablo dungeon generator, child actors. This is going to be BP small wall. Create blueprint like that. Then we're going to hide it. We're going to grab that. We're going to convert selected components to blueprint class. We're going in the other folder. This is going to be BP long wall like that. Then we're going to do the same. We're going to hide that and this, and we're going to grab all of the fences, and we are going to convert them as well. Child actors, BP railings. And finally, we're going to grab the floor, convert that, and call that BP floor. All right. And then what can we do? We're going in our blueprint. I'm sorry, my cat is ruining some stuff. I'm sorry for the noise. So we need to open up our tile folder. We need our generic tile. And in there, what do we want to do? We want to say, so we first want to shut down our construction. We want to open up our BP tile, I said. We want to shut down what we added to our construction script, just so it doesn't lag too much when we when we update what's going on there. So we're going to add child actors, and we're going to move that to our floor. This is going to be our BP floor, or just child underscore floor, like that. And I'm going to be back just a moment. I'm sorry about that. So we have our floor. I'm going to hit Ctrl S just to save everything. And we need to say that our floor is actually our BP floor. It's going to lag. So our tile is actually bigger than, and we have a problem. Our tile is bigger than what we actually planned for our level generator, but that's not a problem since we implemented our little size logic. But the problem is our floor is not centered, as you can see there. So if I'm not mistaken, so how do we do center them? We're going in our floor blueprint, and we actually want to move them a bit, I think. Oh, we actually cannot move them a bit. So we need another scene like that. We are moving the scene to the share root, and we're moving every static meshes to the scene. Then we want to grab the scene. Why is the scene located there? So we don't want that. We want to grab the meshes and move there to the share root. Then we want to grab the scene, put that in the middle. And we want to move the static meshes to the scene. And we want to move that from, we want to move that a bit, I believe. Minus like this, I think. So I actually just want to center that. So compile time is taking long because I added the floor to all of our tiles. So if I'm going back there, okay, it's centered now. So what do I want to do? I want to add a child actor. I want to copy paste that to the pillar, and the pillar is going to, okay, the pillar I don't want. I want the pillar to be, so I want to grab the mesh I choose there, like this in my content browser. I want to set that the pillar mesh is that mesh, like that. And I don't want to erase its material, not at all. And they are all above the floor. So I'm just going to say it's on the floor. And then we want to add the other bunch of stuff, the other stuff we created. So I should not be hitting compile so many times. I'm sorry about that. So we want new child actors, and we want lots of them. So I'm just going to, so I don't know why it created it there, but I'm happy it did. Okay, so I just need to click on what I want, and it's creating the components on what I clicked on. So I'm happy about it. So I want child actors all around the place. Like that. And I want the northern corridor to actually be there. I want the southern corridor to be there. For now, I'm just going to add the proper stuff, the proper child actors. So in there, we want the wall, but we want the small wall. Okay, so why is it big? Because we scaled each of our meshes. So we're going to say they are all scaled like that by 1. And we were working, so the northern corridor is a wall as well, but a small one. The southern corridor, we done it. The eastern corridor is a small wall. Western one as well. Northern wall is a long wall. Southern wall is railing. Eastern wall, railing. Western wall, long wall, like that. I was about to hit compile, but I contained myself. So if I'm checking, if I'm making sure, so where is the north? The north is up there, and this is our southern corridor. And these meshes are, I'm sorry about that. So these meshes are actually rotated, and I don't want them to be rotated. So I'm just going to grab all of these meshes and reset their rotation. Alright, so if I'm clicking that, that's our southern connector. So I want it to be like that. This is our western wall. So it's taking all the place in there. I'm going to just move them real quick. So the western corridor is going to be like that. I'm going to fix them afterwards. This is our northern connector. Good. This is our northern wall. Correct. And the eastern connector. Perfect. Then our railings or fences, how you prefer. They are going to be like that. I don't know how bad is it going to overlap, how bad tiles are going to overlap with each other. There's a lot of work to do in that regard. Regarding level design, but I took quite a lot of screenshots for Diablo 3 from the Diablo 3, and they do not care much about connections. When connections are only, they are not caring much about connections. If some stuff is not well connected, well, they do not care. So I think we are good. Okay, so that connector is not set up correctly, if I'm not mistaken, like that. And we want to hide all of these. We want to say we do not have cube. We do not have cubes. And we do not have the floor as well. the meshes are empty like that. So we might get some interesting stuff once we hit play. And I'm going to show you, and after that I'm just going to quickly show you how you can actually create a real tile, not building a tile using a bunch of stuff. This is not the workflow I was talking about. But I'm actually showing you the workflow because we are using the tools. We are using the built-in Unreal tools, but building a tile using all of these connectors, etc. This is just for the sake of having all of the tiles we already have in there being already set up to work with a generator that is not using Blockouts volumes. So this is fine. I think we can just hit play. Can we hit play in there? We're going to just hit play to see what happens. Okay, so we need to increment the size of our level generator. We're going to select it. So we're going to close everything and we're going to move all of that to our LD folder. We're going to open up our system, get our level generator, and I'm not sure how much is that tile. So I'm going in our top view. This is our tile. If I'm holding middle mouse button, it's giving me a rule. So 3.5. So we can go back to perspective mode and we can set to our level generator that it has to spawn size of tiles of that size. We can save, hit play. Okay, so that's because our generator is actually using, we want to open up our level generator BP. It's using the data table we created, so we're just going to promote that to make that public, use level board, and we're going to move that to the metrics folder. We're going to hit compile, hit save, and we're going to say that our level generator is actually not using the level board, and we're going to hit play. And we actually have tiles big enough, but I forgot to do one simple thing. We want to open up our tile blueprint. We want to go in our generate corridors function. And when we set the visibility, we actually want to propagate to children. And when we destroy components, we actually don't want to do that. We want to set the visibility. Oh, cannot we? These are actor components, but we can set the visibility on that. Okay, we can do that. Set the visibility, propagate to children. And we also want to say we want to disable the collisions of that. And that's strange, but we just want to plug all of them like this, and we want to plug that in there. We want to delete that, we want to delete that. Oh no, we don't want to delete that. Okay, this is selecting the proper static mesh to destroy it, so we don't want to do what I was doing. We want to move that. So the north, so we were properly connecting them, so the north, the south, the east, and the west, like this. We want to delete that. We want to break all of these links. We want to move that in there. And cannot we set the collision enable? No, we cannot. Can we select? Okay, so we need to build that instead. I'm sorry about that. Can we plug that? Okay, we can. Unreal Logic. Actually, that's me, I failed. So, okay, we like that. And we need that for the walls as well. I think it's going to work if I'm just plugging that. Yep, hopefully. So we want them to be in the rightful order. We don't want to destroy that component. We want to just hide it like that. And we want to propagate to children. And in there, that's what we want to do as well. We want to hit compile. And it's taking quite a lot of time once more. So how can we do that? We can just hit save, hit play, and we have, so this is a background tile, and it didn't disable the collision, and I'm not sure why it didn't. No collision, I said, no collision enabled. Quite unfortunate. Okay, so no. We have, so this is our railing and this is our background tile. So I want the background tiles to be lower. So if I'm opening up our background tile, we can say that everything is going to be lower. Like that. We're going to hit compile. Close that. Hit save. Hit play. And all of our background tiles are lower. But I'm still locked because of the collision of, okay, no, I think I know what's wrong. This is, so the hole is hidden. So all of our child actors are hidden, but they are not, we do not change their collision settings. That's quite unfortunate. Can we deactivate? No, we cannot. So what's happening there is that we are deactivating the collision of that southern connector, for instance, but not of the child actors, which is in there. So that's quite inconvenient working with these stuff with such a modular setup. It's not the proper way to level design, obviously. So we need to find a trick to disable that collision, I think. So what happens if I just destroy the components? Does it destroy the child actor as well? I hope it does. If I hit compile, hit play, then I think it will not destroy the child actor, but I'm not sure. What happened when I hit play? Yep, it's not destroying the child actor, as you can see there. So we need to grab all of these child actors, so N, con, S con, E con, W con, N wall, S wall, Eastern wall, Western wall, like that. And then we can also select We can also grab all of the walls, north, south, east, and west, and we can select. We don't want to select that. We can destroy that, and we actually want to select what do we want to destroy. We're going to select using that array like that, and we want to destroy the components, and we want to do this. So we're going to get rid of these. We're going to do the same thing for the connectors. So NCon, SouthCon, EastCon, WestCon, like that. We want to plug the array element in there. We want to hit compile. And then we want to hit play. And we want to be able to move to navigate through our dungeon. And I also want to move background tiles a bit above. I move them too much above the floor level, so I'm just going to move them a bit like that. I'm going to hit compile, close that off, hit save, hit play, and we have tiles. So we are actually going to not spawn anything in our level generator for now. And how we are going to do that, we are just going to hide the text render for now. Hidden in game. Oh, we crashed? No, we did not crash. Can I find reference to that? Set visibility, set cells to stored visibility. We are modifying that. We are never calling this, are we? Okay, so anyway, I said it was hidden in game, and our arrow are going to be hidden in game as well, but I think we are modifying that value. Set visibility, set hidden in game, about the arrow. No, yep, that's about the arrow. So we're just going to say they are hidden in game, and we're going to hit compile. Then we're going to, I think we are close to being good to the simple, I mean, the blueprint framework I was talking about. You're going to see how it can be easy as well, because we have to realize that all the stuff we did in that video was mostly about getting all of our tiles ready at once, and that's quite impressive because we have like 70 tiles. So in less than 1 hour we actually set up 70 tiles in a modular way, and that's obviously not finished, but at least we are evolving in a dungeon that looks like that is not blockout. Well, it's blockouts, but it's not big white cubes. And we're just going to see how you can quickly create, let's say, a start tile. So we have quite a lot of things in there, things I want to use for our start tile. So I can grab that. And I just want to build my tile in there, and I want my tile to be a southern tile. So it's going to, I don't want to delete that, nor do I want to delete the fence, the railing. So this is going to be a tile which is open on the south, and I don't want pillars on that tile. But before I do that, I'm actually going to Control Z. I'm going to duplicate that, all of that, because I want to keep that template. So I'm going to duplicate that. Oh, I forgot the wall. And I'm going to delete the connector. I don't want it. I'm going to delete that and this and that. Perfect. And I'm going to get rid of them. And I know for sure that is going to be my start tile. So what do I want to do there? I think I have something that looks like an entrance, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm just going to use that. For instance, that's where you are going to come from. For instance. So it's going to be like this. So it might eventually look more like an end tile where you might go there. I'm going to say this is unlock. If I'm hitting play, what happens? Okay, nothing happens. I was worried something about happens when I said it is unlocked, but I'm not sure. So like that, I have this. And then I'm going to say I want my start tile to have quite a lot of things. So I'm just going to get rid of that. Actually, I'm not going to add a blueprint. I'm going to add static meshes to that. So I want a lot of stuff in my start tile. I don't know what I want, but we're going to say I want pillars like that. Okay, fine, fine, fine. I even want something like this. And I also want, I don't know, what do I have here? Let's say I want that bunch of that thing. Okay, we are good. So this is I level design my start tile. So I want to make sure to do that in a clean map where nothing actually there's nothing else but the tile, because now what you want to do is get all of the, so you want to work in a folder. So you basically want to work in a folder where, because you want to drag and drop stuff and you want that to be easy. By chance I have all of my stuff in there, so I can move that in a new folder. This is going to be the third tile, south, I want to work on. So if I move everything, I have my start tile, and I want to duplicate that. I want to move that to a new folder. No, I actually just want to create a new blueprint class. I want to move that to child actors, and I want to call that start tile south. BP start tile south. No, we want to find out what is our current naming convention for our tiles. BP start tile south 01. We want to control as that, and we actually want to convert that to a blueprint, which is going to be something called environment start south 101. We're going to create the blueprint like that. It's going to open that up, and maybe the blueprint is not centered, and I'm afraid it might not be centered yet. Yes, it's not centered, as you can see there. It's almost centered, but not. So for it to be centered, so I want to retry that. I want to delete that. I want to find that in our browser. I want to control C that. I want to delete that. I want to save our map, and I want to delete that. Force delete, I don't care. So for our blueprint to have its root point in the middle, you want to select the floor in the end of your selection. So we are just going to pick everything but the floor. So what is the floor? The floor is group actor 37. So we want to grab everything but that. And then we want to grab group actor 37. And then we want to create a blueprint class using that. Child actors, we want that to be called BP environment start S1. We want to create that blueprint class. And we want to make sure it's centered. Okay, so it's not centered. We want to move that to 60 on the y-axis. So we're going to create two new scenes. One is going to be the middle. And we have something called group components. And we have something called middle. So group component is not in the middle of, I'm not sure what that is. We have something called group component. I'm going to move everything in our group component folder just to see what it does. Okay, no, I know what it is. So that's when we were using grouped static meshes. It created a scene root, but we do not care about that. So we want to have one scene root, which is the middle, and another one, which is the root. We're going to move all of our meshes in the root. We're going to make sure the root is actually centered to the middle. And it's going to be like that. So this is the southern tile you created. And we actually forgot we actually moved that. So I just want to fix this. Like that. I want to hit compile, hit save, and in there I want a child actor. So in there I need a gizmo event, and this is going to spawn an evil urn, for instance, like that. And so we built our first tile using in level design using Unreal tools. So we need to say that our southern tile is actually using that layout. So if we go to our BP store tile, we can just say that we're going to build a small logic in our BP tile that hides and destroys everything about our the modular pieces of tiles we created. So we're going to create a new function, destroy modular pieces, and we're going to grab everything and we're going to delete everything. We're going to destroy every one of these components. First, we're going to make sure they are there for us to quickly connect them. All right, let's connect that. And what we want to do now, we want to create a new Boolean variable that will be asking if the tile we are building is using the modular pieces or not. If it's not using the modular pieces, it's going to destroy them. So we need a new branch, we need to promote that, we need a new Boolean, which is going to be B use modular pieces. we're going to grab that, we're going to branch, and if it's not using them, it's going to destroy these components. And we're going to do that when we generate the connectors, we are actually going to, when we generate the connectors, we are actually just going to ask in there, are we using the modular pieces? If we are, we're going to loop through the stuff. If we are not, we're going to destroy them. And we're not going to do the check in there. And then we can hit compile, and we'll need to hit compile once more because I want to check that by default, the fact that tiles are using the modular pieces. So alright, we want to check that all of the tiles are using the modular pieces. And we'll say that the southern tile is actually displaying the tile we created as a blueprint in a child actor component and is actually not using the modular pieces. So let's go there. We're going to add a new component. I actually saved. So we're going to add a component, a child actor. This is going to be our env tile, and we are going to say this is our first environment start tile, south. We're going to hit compile, and in our class defaults, we're going to say that this tile is not using, oh, we have a bug in there. Tile tap E, tile tap max. We're going to go back to our start tile, and we're going to say that this is a start tile. We're going to hit compile. Hit save, go back to our start tile, and reset that as well. So I think all of our start tile have reset, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, so we want to grab that and reset that. Hit save, close them. And in there, we want to say that it's not using modular pieces. We want to hit compile, hit save, and we want to say that our level generator is actually spawning a start tile going to the south. So I just need to say south, hit save, hit play, and it actually spawned the start tile we just created. We just level designed. So that's not the more convenient framework, but at least you can build your own level design without buying prefab tool. But I honestly think prefab tool is a must buy if you plan on working on procedurally generated content. And overall, if you're spending a lot of time on Unreal, we'll see prefab tool in the next video. So this is going to wrap up that pretty long video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.